Downton Abbey's final act is here, and goodbye is bittersweet. Before the curtain falls, let's catch up with the cast on and off screen. How much is Michelle Dockery really like Lady Mary? Hint: not an angel. Who found love on set, and which co-stars became real-life soulmates? Tea in hand, tissues ready. Let's take one last peek behind the scenes. Laura Carmichael as Lady Edith Crawley. Downton Abbey didn't just bring her fame, it brought love. She met partner Michael C. Fox, aka Andrew Parker, on set in 2014. They've been together since, and now raise a 3-year-old son. Downton was Carmichael's first television role. She still feels lucky.
It was like this training ground of working with these incredible actors and amazing writer and producers who were very nurturing to the newbies like me.
Post-series, I think she starred in the Spanish Princess and Aussie thriller, The Secrets She Keeps. The 9-year-old also posts updates on Instagram, including her latest work with Burberry and Highgrove. Now, on to her on-screen brother-in-law. Alan Leach as Tom Branson. The 4-year-old still cherishes Downton Abbey deeply.
It's always been a joy, and it does, I know it sounds a bit cliche, but we really are like a family. We've enjoyed all of this success out of nowhere with the first series, and the fact that it's still going and still so loved by the fans is really special.
Since playing the beloved chauffeur turned gentleman, Alan stayed active most notably as Paul Prenter in Time's Bohemian Rhapsody. Lately, he starred in The Vanishing Triangle, 2, Jessica Blair Herman Good to Be True, and comedy drama Bulldozer. Off-screen, still flourishing. Leach wed actress Jessica Blair Herman in 2019. Together, they raised 2 kids and keep the humor alive. Alan once shared a childhood throwback of Jessica, gushing wildly over Leonardo DiCaprio. "These are my fave pics," he teased. "Wife might divorce me for this, but as the clip proves, I've always lived in someone's shadow." All right, who's next on the upstairs tour? Michelle Dockery as Lady Mary Crawley. Like her character, the 3-year-old has endured real-life tragedy. She began dating Irish PR exec John Dineen in 2013. "I have a wonderful man from Ireland." They got engaged early, 2015, but John died that same year after fighting a rare cancer. Thankfully, love found her again. In 2023, she married producer Jasper Waller-Bridge, yes, Phoebe's brother from Time's Fleabag. Dockery stays private, rarely on social media.
I have one for my dog. I'm one of those.
You're one of those people. Okay, interesting. Yeah.
And then I stalk everyone.
Supposedly, it's top secret.
Post photos of my dog, and then I follow lots of interior design. It's quite boring, really.
Defending Jacob, Anatomy of a Scandal. Plus recent films Time's Please Don't Feed the Children, Here, and Time's Flight Risk. Fun fact, she sings. In 2022, she and co-star Michael C. Fox dropped a folk EP.
We started jamming together on set and bringing our guitars into work, and our voices sounded great together, and then we started songwriting together.
Next up, Mary's sister, Elizabeth McGovern as Cora Crawley. Pre-Downton, she was already famous, rose to stardom in the 80 seconds, even earned an Oscar nod for Time's Ragtime. After the show ended, she stayed in the public eye, appeared in Time's War of the Worlds, Film Times, and Miss, and returned to theater. McGovern wrote and starred in Time's Ava, The Secret Conversations, a play about an aging actress revisiting her life with her ghostwriter.
It so intrigued me, the idea of an aging actress sitting down with her the ghostwriter of her autobiography, and that journey that she would go on with this person.
The 4-year-old also makes music, still writes and performs with her band, Sadie and the Hotheads. Personally, she's been wed to director Simon Curtis since 1992. They have 2 daughters. Her secret to lasting Hollywood love? Humor helps you process problems, makes them easier to carry. Speaking of enduring love, how's her on-screen husband doing? Hugh Bonneville as Robert Crawley. Though parting with Downton Abbey stings, he's grateful the character's arcs found closure.
It's a wonderful sort of closing off of all the stories for that, so it's a proper film for the fans.
Since the show, the 1-year-old kept his regal glow, thriving in both Hollywood and Britain. You'll recognize him as lovable Mr. Henry Brown in Time's Paddington Times, but he's also lit up screens in Time's Wone Ampere, The Agency, and Time's The Gold. Off-screen, life turned rocky. In 2023, he separated from wife Lucinda Lulu Williams after 25 years. Reports say he initiated it. Lulu felt their long marriage was suddenly dismissed. They share a son, Felix. Post-split, Bonneville was linked to vegan influencer Heidi Kadlakova spotted kissing in London months later, sparking romance buzz. All right, enough upstairs turmoil. Time to visit the downstairs staff. Brendan Coyle as John Bates. Since Downton, he's stayed active on stage, screen, and television. You might have seen him in Time's Requiem, Riches, or Time's Toxic Town. Off-camera, though, he's private. The 62-year-old reportedly stays single and guards his personal life closely. One love he does flaunt? His dog. His Instagram's packed with more pooch posts than people, and honestly, we're here for it. Fun fact, he's grandnephew to football icon Sir Matt Busby of Manchester United, so naturally, he's often courtside, cheering loud, loyal to his roots. Alright, maybe his on-screen wife's got juicier gossip to share. Joanne Froggatt. Joanne Froggatt as Anna Bates. Like her co-star, the 4-year-old keeps a low profile. She was married to IT consultant James Cannon until their 2020 split. Then, last year, she stunned fans by revealing her baby bump at the Into Film Awards, welcoming a daughter in September 2024. True to form, she stayed silent. No name shared, no father ID'd. Back in August 2023, rumors tied her to a mystery guy named Mark, but she said nothing. Post-Downton, she's focused on television, North Shore, Breathtaking, and recently Time's Mobland Times with Tom Hardy and Pierce Brosnan. On the finale, she promises fans a treat. It's gonna be so emotional. Honestly, I can't wait for press. We'll all reunite. It'll be joyful and tearful. Now, on to Robert James Collier as Thomas Barrow. He began as somewhat of a villain, but as his arc evolved, viewers grew to adore him. Watching Thomas transform from antagonist to beloved, empathetic figure was unexpected. Downton didn't just make him famous, it gave him a true off-screen bestie. On-screen, Matthew and Tom had the bromance. Off-screen, it's you and me. Feels like a take-me-out answer. Yep, Robert and Alan Leach love messing around. We can't get enough. Take me out tonight. Anywhere. Glove, bonnet, glove bunny. Post-show, Collier starred in Alley Bridge, Fate, The Wink Saga, and The Long Shadow. In real life, the 8-year-old is wed to businesswoman and fashion lover Lauren Chandaram. They're raising their son Milo together. Time now to turn to the kitchen crew. Sophie McShure as Daisy Parker. The 40-year-old says her Downton cast feels like family. I'm so grateful for this support system. If I'm on another gig, I can call them for advice. They're my safety net. The show remains McShure's top credit so far. Sharp-eyed viewers might have seen her as Miss Graham in The Queen's Gambit, plus Cinderella and BBC's The Gallows Pole. Personally, Sophie's a mystery, no info on marriage or dating. But she's not above indulging in sun-drenched reality, television drama like Love Island. Yeah, I totally watched it. Lastly, let's discuss one of the show's most cherished characters. Let's catch up with the downstairs team. Jim Carter as Charles Carson. The 6-year-old shared that part of the new film was shot at Harrogate's Great Yorkshire Showground, mere minutes from where he was born. I first rode my bike at the Great Yorkshire Show. Full circle, totally. And yes, the cast stays connected off camera. We get together for dinners now and then, gossiping and catching up. Post-Downton, Jim's rich baritone graced Transformers, The Last Knight, The Sea Beast, and he appeared in Nightfall and Wonka with Timothée Chalamet. In 2019, he earned an OBE for drama. Personally, life's rock solid. Jim's been wed to Harry Potter baddie Imelda Staunton since 1982. In 21 years, they'd only been apart 3 weeks. They even co-starred in Downton. Imelda joined the 2019 film. We sat across a dining table but never exchanged lines in that first movie. Their daughter, Bessie Carter, is also an actress. Now we've checked in, how's Mrs. Carson doing? Phyllis Logan as Elsie Carson. Like Jim Carter, she too shared the Downton Abbey screen with her real-life partner. Her husband, Kevin McNally, played Horace Bryant. You likely know him as Joshua Gibbs from Pirates of the Caribbean. Yep, Mrs. Carson wed a pirate. Phyllis and Kevin had their son David in 1996 and tied the knot in 2011. Still, she initially resisted dating him. I didn't want to date another actor, thought they were vain. I always swore I'd never let one in my house, but love doesn't follow rules. Professionally, the 9-year-old remains active. Recent credits: Miss Austen, The Bombing of Pan Am, 103, and Murder Most Puzzling. While fans brace for an emotional Downton farewell, Phyllis stays calm. It's been wonderful being part of it all these years. Felt like the right moment to wrap it up with a grand finale. No tears, no fuss, just pure British grace. All right, who's up next? Leslie Nichol as Mrs. Patmore. She commanded the Downton kitchen like a pro, but off camera, the 1-year-old's vegan and no kitchen whiz. We're ace at faking cooking, but hopeless in real life. Mrs. Patmore remains Nichol's standout role. She's done voice gigs in Summer Camp Island and Jellystone, plus screen spots in The Boys and Mr. Bates vs. the Post Office. In 2022, she debuted her autobiographical stage musical, How the Hell Did I Get Here?, winning an Off-Broadway Alliance Award. Sadly, she halted the North American tour after losing her husband of 15 years, spiritual healer David Heald, who passed at 76. Now, on to her kitchen-side partner, Maggie Smith as Violet Crawley. With 2 Oscars and a career stretching to the 52nds, Dame Maggie was already legendary before Downton Abbey, yet the show's global hit status still surprised her. I'd been working ages before Downton. Life was good. Nobody had a clue who I was. Today, she's adored equally as Violet Crawley and Professor McGonagall in Harry Potter. But for Maggie, neither role truly fulfilled her. I'm deeply thankful for Potter and Downton, but they weren't what you'd call artistically satisfying. I didn't really feel I was acting in them. She even confessed she's never watched one episode of Downton Abbey. I've never seen it, ever. Still, trophies piled up. 3 Emmys, a Golden Globe, a SAG making her the most awarded actor in the Downton cast. The world mourned when Maggie died last September at 89. The upcoming grand finale film will be the franchise's first without her. Yet, per Elizabeth McGovern, her essence lingers. She's in everything. Absolutely. That's all for now. Pumped for the new movie? Drop a comment. And as always, stay awesome.